This week's episode of Deca Dence really puts the focus on Natsume's resolve in why she wants to join the power, why she wants to be a part of a fight that is apparently endless, while giving her so many opportunities in this episode to really prove that she deserves to be in this fight. I mean, the most powerful human warrior is saying, join the squad, you're amazing, you're better than some of the people I have on my team right now. Just kind of basically being a bit of a troll, but still saying, you got the guts. And it really makes you feel like she can do it. It really was an episode that wasn't her being like she's not cut out for this situation. Sure, she still has a long way to go, but she can do it. And then they throw you with the logical, this mission is designed to basically kill everyone, and only S ranks are going to be a part of it from here on out. So Kaburagi, just sit back, relax, grab yourself a alien robot beer, whatever the hell they drink in those injections, and basically watch the show play out, while we know our girl is going to get killed. And this is a very interesting dilemma because it's hard to say what she should have done or what our boy should have done, because logically this machine system that is being kind of put into place to monitor humans and basically turn humanity into robots is very logical and you would think is nearly foolproof. But because there's bugs in the system, there is an uncertainty. There's something that's not regular that could change the tides. I'm not here to say that I predict that Natsume is going to be the character who's going to be the one and only reason that some characters might get out of it alive. Honestly, I firmly believe there's a chance she could die in this mission. While some people might want to argue she's a main character, we're only 4 episodes in, there's no way she's going to die. I can point you to series like, well, just look at Madoka Magica. It always looks like characters are very important in that show, and it gets just kind of changed without a moment's notice. It's not impossible for Natsume to die during this mission. Do I think it's going to happen? No. I just think there's a slim chance it could. But at the same time, because of how much focus they put on bugs in the system, the fact that you want to eliminate them because they can't be controlled, meaning you can't predict what's going to happen, it means that there's probably a 0.1% chance that this mission won't end in catastrophic failure. And I honestly believe Natsume will be the reason that it may not end completely with total annihilation. If a majority of this squad gets out alive, I actually think that might be underwhelming, because you definitely should say, if a logical system says everyone's going to die and if most get out alive, I think while it could be interesting for a narrative's sake, I also think it would be underwhelming if you're setting up something to be incredibly insane and only a couple of people end up dead or their avatars end up dead, things like that. What I'm hoping from what we're about to see in this icy wasteland is that there's going to be brutality, but not in the sense that we just see body parts fly, but it just looks like a hopeless situation. And it'll be very interesting what the strongest warrior will do and our girl Natsume will do to turn the tide, or at least hopefully do so. And if our boy will eventually jump into a sleeve and basically come into the fight himself, because if he does, that will probably not let him be the S rank in this new system that they're trying to design, and maybe he'll even be recycled for breaking orders or something like that. To me, it definitely has a lot of potential with this mission. I don't think the mission will last longer than an episode, 2 at most, because it feels to me that with how they're hyping up the brutality here, people are going to get eliminated left and right, and I doubt it's going to last too long, but at the same time, based on this episode, they were fighting creatures that were like, I guess 5 times their size, give or take, if you're looking at a height level, and it was taking them quite a while to deal with that. So if they lose a lot of their people going up against something that's like literally a kaiju-like beast, it could take a damn long time. If they even have a chance, they might have to retreat. There's a lot of possibilities, and that's what I like about this episode. It gives you this sense of progression, as if our girl, she is naturally talented. She's not so naturally talented that she's already the best warrior, but you can see the potential if she does survive and hones her skills along the way, especially now that she's a part of the power, meaning she can get the absolute best training, not just some half-ass training behind the scenes where she can't get as much real-world experience. It's kind of like, yeah, you can learn to drive with a professional driver, but if you're not driving on the street with other drivers around you, you're not really going to be the best you can be. So it's really interesting now, should she survive and should some of these characters survive, what she will look like by the end of the anime, and most importantly, where Kaburagi will look, because this man is doing some things that I feel like are going to get him killed. While I definitely think Natsume will probably get out of this mission alive, I don't know about our boy getting out alive even halfway through this anime with how much he's breaking rules. The fact that he was so scared of losing her because he firmly believes that this is a suicide mission, it's really great that you were able to accomplish something that you're really proud of. Don't go on this mission though. You will die. And how she views it as like, just like, yeah, it's dangerous, but look, they picked me, I can do this. And just the rage and just what they were able to accomplish was a simple scene in a cramped room where he's grabbing her and shaking her and throwing her, destroying her equipment, and the tears and rage that comes from her, it just felt so vulnerable, as if this was almost like a parent and child being like, do not go on this suicide mission, you will not come back. And he almost dropped major information about how this world is basically manufactured. And I was like, my boy cares that much. If anything, he's the biggest bug in the system, and the system doesn't even know it. The system thinks it's foolproof, but clearly it isn't. It's probably 99% foolproof, and that's why they need to have people actively look for bugs, but sometimes the bug seekers are the bugs themselves, and that's an interesting concept, I have to say, and I really dig it. I think there's just a lot of heart and soul behind this anime. It feels like it's definitely crazy, it's adrenaline pumping. The animation in this episode looked amazing, especially with how much times they were flipping and floating around creatures. There was a lot of dramatic and just incredibly well animated shots in the action, and when it kind of slowed it down just for dialogue, it felt emotionally engaging, as if every time something was happening, like a simple conversation between ex-friends and how she's just so done and fed up with someone not listening and wanting to basically go on a suicide run, that she's broke up with her friend. There's a lot of times where emotion is conveyed just from simple looks and gazes, rather than seeing a character get stabbed in their chest. Even though there was some stabbing in this episode, both on the equipment side and also this like alien-like side, it just felt like this was supposed to be something that made you uncertain of where the anime could go from here, because if you're saying the system is basically doing a reboot, a refresher of what's going to happen, it feels like that has to. Even if you do have something that's irregular, like Natsumi, a part of the crew, she's not some perfect warrior. Like, I don't know where they want to take this, and that's so damn exciting to me. Series like this can be basically a make it or break it, depending on how well they get the end of the world kind of suicide run handled. Because if you look at shows that have a similar kind of a design, like an Attack on Titan, or anything where the world's basically destroyed and some people fight on the front lines and people look at them like they're idiots because why not just do armor repair, that's a part of fighting, it can be very much the same or just feel like it doesn't have its own identity, but Deca Dence clearly does. The fact that it does feel like there is a reason for fighting on the front lines, but at the same time, humans really don't belong there. From their side, the people who are all these colorful beings, that's who should be fighting. They're much more capable, and we live in a giant mobile fortress. But at the same time, you understand where a character like Natsumi would be coming from, feeling like you can't just be enclosed in walls your entire life. You need to breathe the fresh air. You need to feel like you are alive. And that's why I really like the conversation between her and this top-ranking soldier, where she's like, you know, that's my reason, because I can't just live in these walls and I want to feel alive. Where with Natsumi, she wants to feel like she has confidence in herself, especially considering she's been talked down to for so long, which is why I really love that scene where she's walking away after quitting and she's thinking of all the times people held her down, and she finally is admitting to someone who understands where she's coming from that I want to fight, I want to have confidence, I want to be something, even if it costs me my life. I'm not here to change the world, I'm here to change myself. And that personal reason gives her a reason to fight on the front lines, even if it's costing her her life, because she's fighting for herself while also trying to support the people that are on her team, and it's really nice for that alone. I mean, there's already some drama with her team. It clearly seems like this is a team that's probably lost a lot, and that's why she's very much like, if you can't control your equipment, get the hell off the team, because we've already lost enough. That's kind of my interpretation of that whole scene, but then again, it could be something completely different. But this episode was probably my favorite Deca Dence episode to date. I mean, episodes 2 and 4 are kind of tied for me just because of shocking reveals and things like that, but honestly, I love this. I really do love what they're doing with this show. I feel confident, and it feels like every episode we're getting more information while also feeling more uncertain about where the system wants to go, and I'm really excited for this suicide run. It really does feel like a suicide mission, and honestly, as much as people are going to say Natsumi is guaranteed to live in this, I don't think so. I honestly think there's a very, very slim chance she could die and the focus could completely shift. They could pull a Madoka, they could pull any show where they just kill off main characters and you don't see it coming, but at the same time, she could easily live and maybe Kaburagi will die, or maybe they'll both survive, but there'll be almost no soldiers left. It is an uncertain cliffhanger, and that is very exciting. It shows that there's still twists up this anime sleeves while also proving it's full of intelligence behind its writing, and as long as we stick with it, things are going to make sense by the end. It definitely feels to me like Deca Dence has everything that I want out of an original anime. It has elements that I love from some of my favorite anime, but also it feels so new and unique. It almost feels like a show, not considering the production level, but because the production level feels modern and at times incredibly well done, but it feels to me like something I would have discovered like from 10 to 15 years ago in terms of the idea that I'm seeing, but somehow done and just was ahead of its time with its visual production. It feels like a hidden gem I would have discovered just randomly going through like an anime tracking site, going to like the 5th page, the 7th page, maybe even the 20th page and be like, oh, what's this weird anime name? And then I watch and I'm like, how did not enough people talk about it? I don't think this is an anime that's not getting buzz. It definitely does have buzz, more so than a lot of shows with a similar idea or just a similar originality to it. A lot of those shows get swept under the rug, but it's not as mainstream as maybe I think it deserves. But I am really glad that there are some people watching, even just if they don't understand what they're watching, they're just confused at what they're seeing, because I think we're gonna see one of the strongest anime of this year once it wraps up. I mean, there's always a chance that it misses its mark, but based on what we've seen, I think this is a show that's going to go down in a lot of people's top 10 for 2020 anime. I really firmly believe that, and I think if it continues the momentum that we've seen here, that's definitely how it's going to be for me. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on episode 4 and where you think it might go next week. Do you think anyone's going to die in terms of the main characters, or do you think it's going to go a-okay? Do let me know. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button if you happen to be new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.